We're on our way to the Sagamore Yacht Club. I'm very excited. CCE was asked to facilitate a roundtable discussion with Senator Gillibrand and Congressman Israel on the issues facing Long Island Sound. So we're going to be discussing funding issues, but also habitat restoration, water quality issues. We really need to have the discussion, and we're thrilled that the senator and also the congressman will be devoting an hour of their time today to do this. Lots of important issues to cover. We have an hour to do it, and we're going to get started.
We all know that the Long Island Sound is one of New York's greatest treasures, and it's one that needs stewardship, it needs focus, it needs attention, and it needs resources.
And that's why Senator Gillibrand and I have teamed up in the Senate and in the House to introduce a consolidated, comprehensive approach to the Long Island Sound, the Long Island Sound Stewardship and Restoration Act.
Now, this legislation is absolutely critical to preserving federal funding for projects including water quality, restoring habitats, and protecting the watershed.
Protecting the Long Island Sound for me is not just an environmental issue, and it is not just an issue that is important to Long Island. It is an important job creation issue. Senator Gillibrand just gave you the number. The Long Island Sound is a $9 billion economic engine on Long Island. If you don't keep that engine running efficiently, it begins to sputter. And when the engine sputters, you begin losing jobs. So this isn't just a matter of the quality of life on Long Island. It's not just a matter of having clean water. It is a matter of our economic security and our job security. We have to stop this roller coaster approach to investing in the Long Island Sound. A good investment in the economy and the environment requires sustainability, predictability. You need to know how much you have, how much you're going to have.
For instance, Long Island Sound Futures Fund, restoration efforts, land preservation efforts, all of those efforts are impacted negatively when the funding is reduced. So the decline in numbers is startling, and it's impacting, and it's adversely impacting Long Island Sound water quality and the programs that we're able, all of us together, to implement to restore the sound.
What are some of these success stories? How have you applied some of this funding in the past in a way that's really made a difference? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Because of really concerted efforts, incredible collaboration, cooperation among nonprofits and municipalities, we saw steady improvements. And one of the things that was on everybody's agenda was to someday see Hempstead Harbor have its shellfish beds recertified. Last year was a great success after working so many years on water quality improvements that we had 2,500 acres reopened, recertified for shellfish harvesting.
I was able to engage in research through the Long Island Sound Study funds, as Cornelia mentioned, and quickly identify, one, where else we're finding this organism that's caused this toxicity, and two, what are the causes. So we've been able to do that as a victory through funding we've had for doing Long Island Sound research. And
we protect public health because of it.
We can now move forward to solving the problem, but there's going to need to be funding to do that. We recognize that wastewater from septic tanks and sewage treatment plants are promoting these events, and so one thing we're going to need is additional funding to implement those sorts of improvements.
We will work on that, and I think you're quite right that these are the kind of issues that we can definitely agree on, that we have to protect.
Extremely successful roundtable, I would say. Diverse discussion, but focusing around funding needs for Long Island Sound. The congressman and the senator were extremely engaged in the discussion. It went really well. Right?
Yeah, it's great. There's a great group of Long Island Sound stakeholders here today. Everybody raised really great points.
Through the research we've done, we've discovered that they're promoted by high levels of nitrogen that are coming from wastewater, septic tanks, and sewage treatment plants. So more funding is needed to upgrade those facilities so we can decrease the level of nitrogen entering our bays. Well, the next step, since we know what the causes are, the next step is improving sewage treatment plants to decrease the discharge of wastewater, and also rerouting septic tanks towards sewage treatment plants. So again, minimize nitrogen loads and therefore minimize the intensity of these blooms.
It's places where they can go boating, kayaking, fishing, crabbing, and get many of the benefits and uses of Long Island Sound.
So if we're going to have tourism on Long Island, if we're going to have a boating community, if we're going to have a shellfishing industry, we've got to make those investments in protecting the sound. We should not be subsidizing big oil companies $40 billion a year and then tell taxpayers on Long Island that their home values are going to go down. They're going to lose jobs because we can't afford to protect this job generator called the Long Island Sound.